The boys are back in town.
Let's go. Let's rock it.
Jesus Christ, it feels like it's been a year.
It's been a while.
However, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, we're down a guy.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Jag, who finally decided to get his knees fixed.
Yeah, he went under the knife the other day.
Yeah, poor guy's got as our Desi parents would say, "Name gode mein lage."
Yeah, this guy's gonna be rehabbing for the next month, but we'll see if we can get him in on a remote cast.
Yeah, like I don't know if he wants anybody to know, but this guy's kneecaps were just hanging on like a chandelier.
Yeah.
So it wasn't good for this guy, but he toughed it out, man. This guy kept doing his thing, right? But we got Gnomepreet here, who's filling in for Jag. So
Yeah, I think he'll do a stand-up job.
yeah, he's already doing better, so it's all good. They got the same kind of facial hair, so
Yeah.
oh man, yeah. So it's been a while, buddy. It's
Lots been going on.
yeah. This 2024, man. It didn't even like give us time to breathe after
It hasn't.
2023, and it just
No.
the foot went down and going 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's a wild year, and I guess the entire landscape of the world. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people speaking out, and taking their lawsuits to people, taking people to court. Openly.
Yeah,
Putting people under the bus.
man. Because I think the last time we were together and we talked, Cat Williams had just happened,
Yeah,
right? And the follow up from Cat Williams is still being.
I think it's still
happening.
Yeah, it's still going on.
Because Buddy was just on Rogan the other day. That was a really good episode.
Yeah,
too.
that was what I loved. You know what? I've been off the Rogan train for I'd say about almost a year and a half, 2 years. I've been very just selective, but that was one of the first ones I've actually sat down and listened to the entire pod. It was a lot of fun. A lot of things that I'm interested about. So it was really interesting. Just the topics that they were covering. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Cat Williams, he opened this, I guess, Pandora's box.
Yeah.
But is it really a Pandora's box when we all kind of knew this was all going on? He just the one that just pointed a light to it now?
I think he's the first of many that have started coming out and just speaking about things that 5-10 years ago no one would have said a word about.
Yeah.
And truly, I don't think he started it. It's really the pandemic and COVID and the aftermath of that no one wants to talk about is what really has kind of pushed a lot of people to just be coming out and freewheeling and speaking their mind.
Yeah. And you don't see that type of backlash anymore as you did before. Like if all this kind of stuff was coming out 2 years ago, right away, it was just like a lynch mob coming after you.
And honestly, I think COVID really woke a lot of people up.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really pushed people. Everybody's really got pushed in a way that we never have. And the information war that went on during COVID, I think this is the aftermath of that.
Yeah. COVID did a lot of things to a lot of people. Like a lot of people took up golf during COVID, which is great. The more the golfers, the better. And another thing during COVID is people started collecting cards again. Yeah,
the collectible market, especially cards, exploded.
Yeah. We got the Toes jersey up there. We got Captain Chicago. Because today in the hobby, especially for hockey cards, today's a big significant day. Series 2 comes out.
Yeah, Series 2 just dropped today.
We got that on the front there. Shout out to Hope Club for hooking us up with that. But this is one of those things, man. If you look at the front of the box, Connor Bedard, this is a generational talent. And these generational talents always do something to the hobby.
Yeah, there's always a big explosion when, you're looking at a McDavid, you're looking one of those, LeBron James, the big superstars that are transcendent.
Yeah.
It puts a fire on the market.
Yeah, these cards, they come out every year. The sets come out every year. But there's always that one moment in time where there's always that one guy.
And this is him.
right?
This is that year.
This is that year for hockey, and it's a double whammy because in basketball you got Wembanyama too.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's not forget Wemby.
So
that was a big one too.
If you're collecting cards, you're getting your ass kicked this year, because trying to get your hands on this stuff is wild.
It's wild.
Because during COVID, prices were like artificially inflated just because everybody was just jumping back into it. And
well, nobody had anything to do, right?
Exactly, right?
So everybody just got into just collecting and antiques. This is all across the board, not just cards. And then obviously the Logan Paul. Was it Logan Paul?
Logan, when he had
it
the
was Logan
Charizard.
Paul, when he had the Pokemon card that I don't know how much he paid for. And that obviously just put a rocket, and everything just skyrocketed from there.
So let me ask you, like, you're more the Pokemon, you're more the TCG side of things, not really the sports cards, right? How do you compare what's happening with like Pokemon cards and One Piece cards and what's happening with like basketball, football, hockey? Like, at least with sports, we know it's a new guy, rookies, whatever. But with like TCG, it's like, it's just almost the same thing every time. So but why does it keep going crazier and crazier and crazier?
So I think Pokemon is obviously a special category on its own, because that's a generational phenomena that's continued. So from kids to their parents now, who were kids in the 90s are now parents today, and now they've got their kids onto it. It's it has brand power. It's 25 plus years strong now. And they also had the 151 release, which just came out last year. And nostalgia is a huge market.
Nostalgia is a drug.
Yeah, it is a drug. And the nostalgia of Pokemon really brings in a lot of people who would never only come in because it's something that they grew up with.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Like when that 151 box came out, 151, like the original 151 Pokemon for everybody out there. When we were opening those packs, it felt like I was back in middle school, high school, opening packs.
So, and they're targeting those, right? Like that nostalgic effect. And yeah, that's just, and I think that's going to be around for a long time. And obviously I think Logan Paul had a big explosion of getting, Gen Z and, a whole bunch of another generation back into collecting. And then an offshoot of that, like you got Disney now with their TCG. You have One Piece. One Piece, I'm not actually surprised. It's the number one anime manga, the most popular. It's been going on for 20 years now. So, I just think the timing was so perfect, because just after COVID, everybody got into collecting. So it's a really hot market. So there's more eyes on the market. And I think they've capitalized on that really well.
And I think also when you see care being taken into a product, because when you see these One Piece cards, the quality of these cards are amazing. The artwork is fantastic. Everything just looks mint.
Yeah.
Right? They look crisp. It didn't feel like a money grab. Like when some of these sets come out, it just feels like a money grab.
Yeah.
Like Panini, you're doing some. Panini, I mean, it is or was the biggest company on the planet for producing cards, but now Fanatics, they're about to take over. But Panini, like, they've done so much criminal stuff with some of their sets, especially this year. It's like, what are you doing? Right? Like they had what was it? I think they had like a controversy with like fake autographs.
Yeah,
right?
They've had a couple controversies in the past couple of years.
And then there was the box that was supposed to have like guaranteed autos, but there weren't any in any of the hobby boxes. Like, like imagine spending $800-900 on a hobby box, being you're expecting to get an autograph and you get nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, hobby boxes are also insane. Like the price point to enter just the market on those is wild now.
Yeah. Like again, hobby boxes are basically the boxes where you get the bigger hits.
Mhm.
So the stuff that you find at Walmart or Toys R Us or whatever, that's what they call retail. So retail doesn't have like some of the higher end things.
Yeah.
Numbered cards are harder to find in retail.
It's not, and it's
Yeah.
not that you can't get a hit in one of those,
It's harder.
but the chances are much lower. Whereas in a hobby box, what they're basically telling you is, we're gonna market this at $800, let's say, but you're guaranteed a certain amount of cards at that rarity, but you don't know who it's gonna be.
It's such a brilliant business model.
It is,
Right?
it is.
It's crazy to think like, yeah, we're gonna produce these cards, but we're gonna have two separate versions of these boxes.
They're hitting multiple price points, right? So
Yeah.
again, like a lot of this comes down to, at the end of the day, like, we talk about loot boxes in video games. At the end of the day, it does get addicting, like people wanting to crack open packs. But the other phenomena that has exploded is just sealed products.
Yeah.
Like
man.
just collecting sealed products. Especially when it comes to Pokemon, you can buy a box today. In 5 years, you'll probably double your money.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, we were just talking about One Piece. The first box of One Piece that came out, which was called Romance Dawn, sealed is what, $1,000?
Yeah, it's going for 800 plus. I've seen sales at not 1,000.
That's crazy. Retail's $160 on these things.
Yeah. So it's good and bad. Like, it's brought a lot of scalping in the business. Like, there's a lot of like fakes out there now. Like, it's unreal the amount of fakes, the amount of scalping that's going on.
Scalping really, I mean, not just cards, but scalping's really messed up a lot. Like, just trying to get tickets to go to watch like a game or something. Or
Yeah, I guess you know what, that's more of a problem across the board.
Yeah.
In a lot of aspects, just because it's kind of hard to fight against when you have the demand, with the population, just demand.
Yeah.
And I think that's another effect after COVID, just being locked up for 2 years. Everybody you got concerts, you got sporting events, people want to attend. Maybe they haven't gone in a year, 2 years, so that's also up the demand and giving scalpers like a huge market right now.
Yeah, I remember when I worked at EB Games, and every time like a new Pokemon set would come out, I knew right away who was who.
Yeah.
Right? Like the dudes that came in, like no membership card, nothing, straight cash.
Yeah.
Right? They're out the door. They don't even know what box.
They don't even know what they're getting.
They're just like, yeah, just give me like the big one.
Yeah.
What do you mean give you the big one? But exactly, right?
Yeah.
And that's
They're
it.
basically gonna go straight home, take some pictures, put it on Facebook for double markup.
Yeah. You guys are crooks. I don't like it. But whatever, man. Do what you gotta do. It's the hustle.
It is, and look, at the end of the day, some of them, not everything's gonna go in value, right? Some of them will be left with boxes. Talking about One Piece, I think 03 and 04, they haven't really doubled.
Yeah.
Like, I was finding them for less than MSRP at one point. So,
Yeah. I think with those, it also depends on how attractive is what you're looking for in the box,
yeah,
too, right?
yeah, that's a big factor.
And I mean, look what happened with PS5. My God, when PS5 came out, I mean, it was hard to find because production was behind, but with the price that people were selling and buying at that moment.
Yeah, I remember. What was it? Double almost?
Oh my God. I know people who spent $2,000 on a PS5.
$2,000? Okay, never mind. You're talking about 4 times.
Yeah, not no game, no extra controller, probably the digital version because you're a bum, right? And you're dishing out $2,000.
Yeah.
You couldn't give yourself a year.
That's the other thing, right? People like that urgency, like you don't want to wait.
Yeah.
I think that's also part of it because again, scalpers are making money because people don't want to wait.
Yeah.
Right? These companies can only, especially Bandai. Bandai's got a bad rep. Like they own multiple TCGs and they cannot print at all to keep up with demand. Barely.
Yeah.
So, if you can't wait a year, like you're going to pay 3-4 times the price.
That's a bit of a double-edged sword too, right? Because I think that is better than overprinting. And then if you are looking to have some sort of value with what you're buying, then it's not worth anything when there's like a million of these things.
I agree, but
right?
with the thing is, so that's the thing. Okay, so what are you trying to do? The long-term value, I guess this is why Pokemon was successful, because you have to print to demand because people want to play the game.
That's true.
The game is what's going to keep the interest alive, right? But now we're in a place in the marketplace where some of these products, like, I don't know if there's enough people playing it, but there's more collectors. I feel like there's more collectors now than there are actually people playing these games.
Probably.
Right? So it's interesting.
But the community for the actual game is still huge, man. Like these card shops that do tournaments every week, they're slammed.
But then to fuel that, you need to print cards.
Yeah.
Right?
That is
Like
also
you
true.
need to print cards. Like you can't. The problem with Bandai is like you can't be like they promise like shop 60, 80 boxes and then you're sending them 10.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know if that's just like honestly the whole system of from the distributor to these shops, because a lot of them are nowadays, a lot of these shops are just renting out like storage units or just selling from their home. Right? So there's a lot of you got to be very safe out there when you're buying a product and getting it from a legitimate source. So I don't even know, like I feel like a lot of product isn't even ending up into the right places.
Yeah. Yeah, because even like there were a few boxes that I got off eBay, and after I got them, I felt weird.
Yeah.
Even though like it was fine, like the reviews, this guy was like 99.9, and after out of like 3,000 reviews, whatever. But there's still like a little part of you that's like, it's coming from Japan. I don't know,
the trust
like,
factor, right?
Right?
Like
I don't know how
like
legit
there's
this is.
such good fakes out there. Like I've seen boxes that have been opened, then repackaged. They've put the shrink wrap back over, and it's almost flawless.
Oh, buddy, let me tell you, working at GameStop, EB, whatever, we had at one point a guy return an ETB. An ETB is like those Pokemon boxes that are released. The weight of it felt fine.
Yeah.
Shrink wrapped, but there was a moment where the person I was working with, the box just felt weird.
Yeah.
And we just kept fiddling with the box, and we're like, yeah, this doesn't feel like other ETBs. And we started holding other ETBs. We're just like, you know what? We have to open this. We opened it up. Legitimately, there was rocks inside the box.
Wow.
Yeah.
This guy didn't even make
Like,
the effort to
yeah.
put like older cards or
He
like
put like slabs. So they weren't like, pebbles rolling around. It was just like slabs that made it felt like it was just like stacks of paper.
So he weighed the box, knew what he needed, how much weight it needed to be.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was nuts, man. We had to laugh.
Yeah.
We're like the effort that this guy went into to do this and then like seal it up again.
Seal it up and return it.
Yeah, it's not. Speaking of sealing it up, Lorcana started sealing their boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first two sets they came, it was just like the flap of it could pull up and whatever.
There's actually some shops, I know some places that, especially in Japan, where they actually will open the shrink wrap when they sell the box to give to you. So they'll open the box and give it to you and sell it to you.
Oh.
So first of all, it takes away the value of reselling it.
Yeah.
And you can't fake, like that's how they sell it. So you can't be returning it, saying like, hey, it's you buy it, you bought it. That's it.
That's brilliant. But then what if someone's like, I'm buying it as a gift. Why you open it? But I guess in Japan, that's like normal. So like whatever,
yeah.
right?
Well, some shops. I know it's here too. Like I know in North America, there are certain places you can buy these boxes where that's how they give it to you and that's how they sell them.
Can you imagine you walk into a store, you spend like $500 on a hobby box and the guy just like slices it open like, here, take it.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like you said, it's the good and the bad. Like if you want to get away from sealed collections and like people just holding these for years, it's going to be interesting in 10 to 15 years how this translates, because the reason a lot of Pokemon cards exploded was because when we were growing up, nobody was taking, even like sports cards. Like you can't find a Wayne Gretzky that's a PSA 8 or 7.
Yeah, good luck.
Right? So nobody was taking care of these cards like people do now.
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
because at that time, when you're a kid, you're not thinking about that, right? Because I'm looking at some of these cards that are going for like, $1,200, $1,500. I'm like, dude, I had that like in my backpack forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like what is happening?
But that's going to change the future of the market, right? I don't know what it's going to do to the market, because like even grading, I don't know if some of you guys know what grading's all about, but that's also, a bit scamish, but authentication is authentication. I do believe like if you want to get an autograph authenticated, right? Like there is there's value in that. But the whole grading a card and on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, almost a perfect card. What you're seeing now is if you don't get a 10, cards that are non-graded, so raw cards are the same value as a 9, if not more than a 9.
Yeah.
So if you don't think your card's getting a 10, literally grading, unless it's for your personal collection, you're going to get no resale value on that.
Like I get like the point of grading is to like, give yourself a value, like a quality of the card that's undisputed. Like if you're trying to sell it, the guy's not going to be like, oh, the card's shit. Well, no, it's not. It's a 9.5.
Yeah.
Or it's a 10. Sorry, buddy. Like it's right there. But it's also why do I care what somebody else thinks the card is graded as?
Fair.
Right? Just to add value to it. There was a great video on Sports Card Investor talking about this exact thing, where I forgot what card it was, but I think it was Wembenyama or something.
Yeah.
But Buddy compared like the same card from, I think it was SGC.
Yeah.
And then compared it to a PSA.
Yeah.
Right? But the PSA one was worth more for some reason, just because of reputation.
That's the brand.
Right?
Yeah. That's literally like the average price of, aside from a black pristine 10, which is I think BGS. Who does the black label?
I think it's Beckett.
Beckett. So the black label, aside from a black label 10, which is probably the strictest form of grading, aside from that, PSA will always sell more because it's brand recognition. More people, it's been in the industry the longest and people recognize it.
So let me ask you something. Beckett, PSA, these things are graded by guys putting a card under a microscope and looking at it with their eyeballs. Right? What about these companies who are using AI to grade the cards?
I agree with you. I know where you're going down this path. I've been thinking about this for a while, especially since we did our who did we do it with again?
It was Tag.
Yeah.
Tag does it, and HGA does AI grading.
Yeah, so that's where like you can submit cards to PSA and you can have like 10 PSA 10s in front of you and they all look different. And it's just someone, like the joke is that it just depends on how the person's feeling that day.
Yeah.
So it's so subjective, but again, it just shows you the power of brand because like most people who aren't in the hobby like we are, like we understand these things and it's like it doesn't make sense why you like a lot of these things don't make sense. Like someone eyeballing a card over AI and a computer telling us which is going to be more perfect.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, like if Buddy's going to tell me this card's worth a 10, but the AI is telling me it's a 9.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be like, okay, then what did you miss? And what did the AI pick up that made it a 9?
Yeah.
Right.
It's a lot of it's subjective.
It's crazy, man. But I will tell you one thing that I'm glad with this whole card hobby collecting thing that didn't happen is NFTs taking over. That NFT thing crashed big time.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Like when they're talking about how the collecting and antiques, like all of this kind of stuff just exploded. But yeah, on the other hand, where NFTs were looking like it was the talk for, what was it, like 2020, 2021?
There was like a good year and a half where it was like you NFT, bro? Like,
yeah, and that did not hit at all.
No, I'm not going to lie. I got sucked into that Top Shot, the NBA ones.
Yeah, the Top Shot. I remember that. Yeah, right? Yeah.
I got into that, but man, that bubble just exploded. Like these what was it called? Bored Ape or whatever the hell it's called. They're worth nothing now.
Yeah, that's interesting because like now everybody wants something physical. Like we were talking about sealed collections. Mm-hmm. Like it takes up space, but people want the physical product. And I think that's the popularity in the holding physical product, I think has been a big part of why NFTs didn't take off.
Yeah. I mean, that goes back to what we talked about last episode with, digital media versus like physical media.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, the NFT thing, like all these influencers were pushing it hard, but they like 90% of them ended up being scams.
Right? Yeah. You got to be aware. Like so many people, like so many of you out there are on social media. Like I really recommend you take a second look at the influencers and the people that tell you what to do and what to buy.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be careful because I'll say 95% of people, the 1% that are making profit on social media are pushing product down your throat.
Yeah.
So just remember that.
You got to be careful, man. Like, not just with NFT, but like even like with crypto. Like CoffeeZilla. If you guys haven't watched CoffeeZilla and know
Definitely check him out. Yeah.
know of his channel, go on this guy's channel because he is doing fantastic work. He exposes all these scams, all these crypto scams, all these NFT scams, everything. And he went after Logan Paul big time.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right after that Crypto Zoo thing.
Yeah.
And then
Called him out.
called him out. And then, Logan Paul went at him, and then they kept whatever. And then a couple of weeks back, I think it was a couple of weeks back, he exposed KSI.
Yeah.
Logan Paul's partner.
Yeah.
Like this is what's happening. Like,
CoffeeZilla is doing real journalistic work. This is the things. This is what we need because a lot of this space, especially the internet, has been unfiltered. So like there's been so many schemes, and just speaking of, we're just talking about NFTs. Just the other day, what's his name? Sam Friedman.
yeah.
The whole what was it? FTX.
Yeah.
So FTX, his
Yeah.
parents were like, he shouldn't get prison time because he's awkward and has anxiety. Like, this guy had one of the biggest scams, made billions of dollars, and they're arguing he should have no jail time.
Yeah. But
And that was all thanks to a whole bunch of people. But CoffeeZilla had a big show on that, and this guy is really doing the work that needs to be done.
yeah, a big part of it, man. CoffeeZilla's Batman. He is. He's crypto Batman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout outs CoffeeZilla, man. People go check out his channel. He's amazing. So good. Oh my gosh. But so much. And the digital space, like what's going on. Something happened yesterday. Do you want to talk Dakota Johnson first, or do you want to talk about Ryan Garcia?
Start with Ryan Garcia.
Okay, Ryan.
Oh, you know what? Let's do entertainment first. You want to do
Dakota Johnson?
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
do Dakota Johnson.
All right, so if you've been living under a rock, Madam Web came out last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever it was.
You know what? I think it was like 3 weeks ago.
Was it?
Yeah, that's how much it's
Okay.
flopped.
So from the get-go, this thing was not being received well. People were kind of about it. They weren't sure how this was going to go. And to nobody's surprise, it absolutely bombed.
Which is no surprise to most of us, as it doesn't make any sense why Disney continues to push down content where superhero films are watched by 70%. I'm pretty close on this because they had
They did
the numbers on this through the run of superhero films. It's a 70% male audience, and you continue to push down female content and hoping that females come out and support this. You know what? This is why we talk about the WNBA and the wage gap.
Yeah.
Right? If women want to support the WNBA like men support NBA, the women would be making much more money. There's a reason these films are flopping. You're pushing films on an audience that isn't watching your films.
Yeah. And so she had an interview the other day, and she made a comment about it. And I'm going to read it to you to get your reaction. I personally think she nailed
All right, let me hear this.
She nailed it with this one.
Put this on me.
All right. And I quote, "It's so hard to get movies made. And in these big movies that get made, it's even starting to happen with the little ones, which is what's really freaking me out. Decisions are being made by committees. The art does not do well when it's made by committee. Films are made by a filmmaker and a team of artists around them. You cannot make art based on numbers and algorithms. My feeling has been for a long time that audiences are extremely smart, and executives have started to believe that they're not. Audiences will always be able to sniff out bullshit. Even if films start to be made with AI, humans aren't going to effing want to see those. She nailed it.
She did nail it. I 100% agree with that statement.
Yeah, it's like, just let people make movies. Like, stop thinking what everybody wants and what they need and push that.
I think part of that is pushing an agenda. Like, it's straight. Disney has been pushing an agenda for the last 5 years at least. Since after end of their first run, this is now, how many films is this? So Madam Web.
Well, this one's technically Sony.
Okay, so Madam Web.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Sony's foray. You have Scarlett Johansson's film.
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Marvels.
Yeah, Marvels. Marvels was, guys, one of the worst films I have watched in the past year. And that says a lot. I check out a lot of B and C films just for fun. So that film was so bad, it was unwatchable. And I probably sat down like 5 times just to get through it all. But they continue to force, like, first of all, you're creating characters such as Miss Marvel first, and then you're trying to, we talk about diversity. You're trying to fit all these boxes into one film. You're trying to make a diverse cast, and then you're trying to push down female superheroes, which don't act like superheroes in your film.
Yeah.
So, like, the messaging just doesn't make any sense. And like the statement you just read, yeah, the audience isn't dumb. And I think the executives more so thinking their audience is dumb and isn't gonna, is gonna go out and watch it anyways. Part of it's like they have a message to push down. And I don't know where that comes from.
There was something that happened a little while ago where I forgot, for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the show that was supposed to come out on Disney Plus, but they basically canned the show, right? Because they realize that what they're doing isn't working, and they're going back to honor original source material, right? I can't remember the name of the show. If it comes back to me, I'll mention it. But that shows you that the tides are kind of turning. Critical Drinker actually talked about it. Sorry. So if you go on Critical Drinker's channel, he talks about this exact thing, where it's like, you tried it, it failed, your pockets are being hurt now, right? Which is a concern.
Yeah. Because
look, capitalism, it's all about money, right? So, buddy, let's go back and start making some brain dead action flicks with the musclehead steroid guys and a lot of violence and blood, man. Let's go.
And just hopping back on that statement, let artists and directors do and film what they want to make.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so much studio influence now, which is too bad. This is what killed Zack Snyder's Superman universe and the Justice League. Is there's just too much interference. Obviously, the big film that came out just this past week was Dune 2.
Boom.
And, no spoilers here, but fantastic film, beginning to end, 3 hours, can't leave your seat. What an epic film. And what did it have? It had great acting, a great score, like unbelievable score that keeps you just engaged in the film the entire way, and a great story. And you know what? They stuck to a lot of the source material. I didn't feel like I was being sent messages. I'm sitting in my seat not thinking, hey, they want me to believe this, or I should believe in this character even though it's so unbelievable. There are things that they've just so gotten away in Hollywood in general and filmmaking. And as you said, like TV shows, like half the time I'm watching, I got to turn it off because I'm like, this is so unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't believe it that I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. Like it goes back to what she was saying. She's like, just let them make the movie. Like, stop, push. These boardrooms shouldn't be making decisions on how a movie is made. What were the biggest movies over the last year? Oppenheimer, Barbie, Dune's going to be a big one.
Yeah, Dune's going to be massive.
And we can put Spider-Verse in there, Even
Yeah.
Super Mario, right? And what were the thing with all these movies? They were probably left alone.
Yeah.
They're like, look, the content's good enough. Just do what you want to do.
Exactly. Yeah. The
Right.
the source material's there. It's good enough.
Yeah. Let's be honest. We all know what Barbie is.
Yeah.
Okay. This has nothing to do, like, yeah, it's about female empowerment, but that's what Barbie's been since like the 50s.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's-
see,
nothing's
that's
different.
believable because
Yeah.
nothing's different. That's what it's always been. Right. So to make that the way they did fits because that's what it's always been.
Yeah, just leave it alone. Can you imagine Peter Jackson walking into a boardroom at who was it, New Line or whoever
I
made
think it was New Line. Yeah.
Yeah.
New Line.
and then them telling him, no, this is how we're gonna do Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
buddy. It like I mean at the time the problem wasn't as big,
Yeah.
but just the thought of it. Like let's say Lord of the Rings was never made, and they were gonna do it now. I mean, okay, Ring of Power.
There's a great
So
example.
they basically done it.
Yeah, they've already
My
done
bad.
it. Rings of Power.
My bad. They basically done it, right? But you think they're gonna correct it for the second season?
I don't know. I'm gonna obviously, I'm invested in Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna check it out, but I don't know. I honestly I go into a lot of these new releases and new TV series with very low expectations. Just because, I'm always sitting there wondering, okay, what's the message that they're trying to get across? Because they're so it's so obvious that they're trying to push an agenda.
And the ones that don't are the best ones, like The Boys.
Oh,
The Boys.
cannot wait.
The
When's season
Boys-
4 dropping? Can't be fast enough.
June.
Oh, is it June?
June.
Oh, I need that in my veins.
That is just unadulterated chaos, and that's what makes that show great.
That fills you up with anxiety because you don't know who's gonna go off and who's gonna get blown up in your face.
Every season, they tend to do that one thing
Yeah, and you
That-
don't know when it's coming.
that breaks the internet.
Yeah,
And then from what I've been reading about this season coming up, they've said that there's one thing that happens in this season that just destroys all seasons past. I can't even wrap my head around it. What could they possibly
Yeah.
do? If you haven't watched The Boys, please do yourself a favor and watch The Boys. This show is out of this world, man.
yeah, that's a great show. Definitely watch it and prepare yourself for season 4.
Buddy, that Butcher and Homelander fight is gonna be scorched earth. I can't wait.
Homelander is that guy's acting is out of this world. He's playing almost like a split personality character, and he just does a great job.
Yeah. Homelander is basically Superman if Superman was a dickhead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a serious dickhead,
Yes.
not just
So if you want to see Superman as a
a
dickhead,
guy
watch
who
The
can
Boys.
lose his temper, rage. Imagine Superman just turned around and it just melted Lex Luthor. Or well, he has done that.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he has done that.
Or if you go back to Justice League when he came back from the dead and he started beating the shit out of the Justice League.
Yeah.
Like imagine that but turned to 11, but he's actually like a really bad person.
Yeah.
Like that's Homelander. Oh my God, The Boys. So many shows out, man.
There's actually quite some decent ones.
Avatar just came up, but it got renewed for 2 and 3, season 2 and 3.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I can see the younger crowd actually enjoying it. I thought it was done well. I actually watched all of it. I don't know if you had a chance to check it out yet.
No, I haven't started Avatar yet.
So I'll keep this spoiler free, but I think it's 10 episodes. It was 10 episodes. They did a good job. I thought it was well done. It was much better than the film.
We don't talk about the film.
Yeah, it had its strong points. I thought visually it looks fantastic. The actors, the acting was okay. I give it a good 7 out of 10, but I think it's worth watching and checking out.
Yeah, they had to hit a home run.
If you're an Avatar fan, you're definitely checking it
Yeah.
out.
I think just based on the success of One Piece, they felt like they had to really
They
hit.
up the antes.
Yeah. And then there's another one that just started last week too, the Shogun.
Yeah, you know what? I have not had a chance to check that out,
Yeah.
but the fan critic review has been like 100 across the board.
I
I
mean,
think it was like 99%.
It's
Fresh.
Samurai Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Fair enough. Can you go wrong?
Yeah. Oh, Game of Thrones, House of Dragons season 2. Oh my God,
House of Dragons.
we
Yeah,
are gonna be eating good this year when it comes
Yeah.
to shows, man. It
there's
is.
some good stuff. Yeah, coming out.
Yeah, shows are kicking movies' ass.
Yeah, they've been really good in the past year. I would say, like movies. I'm telling you, movies. You're looking at maybe 2 a year. Like there's Planet of the Apes coming out this year. That has a potential to be really good.
With Deadpool, Wolverine.
And Deadpool Wolverine should be fantastic as well.
Deadpool Wolverine, I think, is gonna be the movie that basically they use to just hit the reset button on everything.
Yeah, when I heard the little spoiler here if you haven't seen the trailer, but when they showed the TVA,
Yeah.
I was like, that's the reset that they're trying to do right there.
Yeah, because they have, what was it, last week they announced that they're not calling Avengers Kang Dynasty anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah, right now it's gone back to Avengers 5 or whatever it's called.
So it looks like officially Kang is done.
Just recast the guy. Have some balls. Have some guts.
I thought they would, but
Right? Like you put all this effort into this guy. Like
Yeah.
I did read something where he had a clause in his contract that he can't be recast. But everything that's happening legally, I'm pretty sure they can find a way out of it. If that's the
he
case.
can't be recast. Why did you put a clause like that in? Like he doesn't own the character.
Yeah, it's strange. But I mean, just recast him. You recast Rhodey,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one, right?
right? Like
yeah.
why can't you do it with this guy?
Yeah, and you've already built him up. Like, you're invested. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, the dude's got variants. It doesn't matter what he looks like.
That's a great point.
You
Yeah,
know
he's
what
got
I'm saying?
variants.
Like it's basically you're telling people like everything that you've done over the last 2 years doesn't matter because we're just gonna change it and go somewhere else. Which is fine if they do something better,
Yeah,
right? But if you're just gonna fumble that one
it's
too, it
still
doesn't
a
make
hard.
any sense.
It's a hard shift. Like, if I can see them scrapping it, but damn, still a lot of investment.
Yeah,
I think each of those films, touched on it. The other film that they've casted is Fantastic Four. I don't know if you got a chance to see the cast.
Look, I like the cast, except I love Pedro Pascal,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I-
he's
I-
a fan
I
favorite
love
for
him.
sure.
but him as Reed Richards,
Yeah,
it just
it doesn't
work
fit
for me.
Yeah, it doesn't fit for me either.
But I also said that about him being cast as Joel in The Last of Us, right?
Oh, and he was fantastic.
But he sold me on him being Joel, so I'm
Yeah.
hoping he has the same effect when it comes to being Reed Richards. But Kaczynski was right there,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have done it, right?
Yeah,
But, they got a plan. Apparently, from like the source, like the poster teaser or whatever,
yeah.
people are saying it's not set in modern day, like it's in the 60s or something.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
So
just the way the artwork was.
I wonder
on the
how they're
thing.
gonna make that kind of fit.
I don't know. It could be all pre-MCU.
That's the kind of, I was just talking to a friend, shout out Jag. We were just talking about, we went to watch Dune, and he brought up the multiverse, and the multiverse kind of takes away from like the serious aspect and, kind of makes it, not as engaging, because once you open up the multiverse, like, does death mean anything?
Yeah.
Right? Like, does killing off a character or switching you just open this Pandora's box of like, yeah, things can be connected, but you lose a lot of meaning behind anything taking place, any event,
Yeah.
So
But I think that's with like Deadpool Wolverine. I hope they use that to basically just like shut it down.
and just do a full reset, eh?
Just reset. Deadpool does something stupid in the TVA. Right? He presses some button that nobody knew existed, and like it's all like fixed or whatever.
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
mind that. That's fun.
That would be the most Deadpool thing ever.
Yeah.
Right? Or he could just do like how he did in the comics, where he just like destroyed the universe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that's a great reset. I'd love
Right?
that.
Deadpool
Think we
destroys the universe. That was
Yeah.
a good story. A lot of stuff coming out this year, man. Yeah, the new Godzilla Kong movie.
Yeah.
That looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
That should be a nice popcorn film.
Yeah. What else is coming out here? Oh, a new Fall Guy. Planet of the Apes you just mentioned. Oh,
Yeah.
Furiosa, Mad Max. That's gonna be awesome.
Furiosa, yeah. So there's a couple good ones coming out this year.
That's gonna be awesome. Monkey Man looks crazy too.
Furiosa, great example, Disney. A great example, female led. And that, I'll tell you right now, that film's gonna do very well at the box office.
Yeah, just because she was such a badass in Fury Road.
Yeah.
Well, it's so good. But now this is like her like her origin story or whatever, which is fine. I don't mind it. The actress playing her, it's oh my god, I forgot her name. The one from Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
Whatever. And she was like Peach.
She's a
in-
great actor.
Yeah. Deadpool Wolverine. There's a new Alien movie. I don't even know about that, guys.
I don't know what alien they're on.
Alien Romulus. Craven is supposed to be this year. Beetlejuice is this year. Transformers. Okay, there's a lot. I'm not gonna go down this list, but there's
Another Transformers?
Yeah, Transformers 1. Origin story of Cybertron. Okay, I'm out for that.
That has to be animated.
I don't care. Make it live action.
Yeah, it's probably animated.
You can finally see Cybertron.
I can see that
properly.
being animated.
Yeah. Speaking of animated, our boy Ryan Garcia was friggin' animated the other night on X. Jesus
All right,
Christ.
let's get into it.
All right, Ryan Garcia. This guy's a boxer. I'm pretty sure this guy's got massive CTE.
Yeah.
His brain is mush. However, Andrew Tate had this guy on his Twitter Spaces, X Spaces,
X Space, yeah.
right? And this guy came out and claimed that he was at Bohemian Grove.
Which is the second person to claim that in the last month.
Oh yeah, Kid Rock was the first.
Yeah, if
guy.
you don't know, Kid Rock was on a Joe Rogan and just casually said, "Hey, I showed up one year, I got invited and punched a guy."
Yeah, so
And we're talking about an event that most of you said was a conspiracy theory.
even though Alex Jones had video of it
yes,
from the 90s.
there was full footage
Yeah.
of it taking place.
Which he put on his Twitter feed. So if you go on Alex Jones's Twitter feed, he put up a 20-minute video
Oh yeah?
of that when they broke into Bohemian Grove.
Oh, fun stuff.
So it's all there. So you guys need to go and watch that Bohemian Grove video. But Garcia, this guy went on Andrew Tate's space yesterday and said that he was taken to Bohemian Grove. He was held down and he was forced to watch things happen to kids. Like, that is a disgusting, allegation to make. Right? Like stuff happening to kids. The
Yeah.
way he described it is just horrible.
Yeah,
I'm not
we're not
gonna
gonna-
talk about it.
yeah,
right?
we won't go into detail, but
But
he went off on with Andrew Tate.
Yeah, so he was basically saying that everything he's saying is the truth, and he was taken there, and this is what they're doing at Bohemian Grove, and he was like describing the whole thing, and they're doing stuff to kids, and he was tied down and forced to watch it. I don't know, like, is this guy, like, is it just his CTE that's doing this, or is there something behind this? Maybe he was there, but the kid thing was a bit extreme, or is this just him just like going crazy?
Well, let's just put the puzzle pieces together.
Okay.
Let's take him out of the picture.
All right.
So you have Epstein,
Yeah.
right? It's facts, right? No one's disputing, there was underage kids and there was a lot of stuff going on. Whatever it was, all that happened. Okay. So that's number one. And then you have Bohemian Grove. Alex Jones covered this, like we told you, the 20-minute video. He's been talking about that for decades, with kids. Now you have the P. Diddy story, which I don't know if most of you probably don't even know because the media has done a full blackout on the story.
Diddy Epstein, man.
Yeah, that's Diddy Epstein right there.
Yeah, that's
So this has been going on. Like, people with money do crazy things, and like, I think most people just, it's weird because, and I feel like just the, public consciousness, it's like everybody just assumes that, yeah, this stuff's going on. So when he says it, he comes out and says this, it's like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
I believe that.
But he also said that the Meta and Google downage was because of him.
It's just everybody's coming out now and just saying wild things because, one or two things come out and there's legitimacy to it. And then people kind of jump on that. And it's so hard to filter information now because so many people just come out and say stuff. Or, hey, let's call it what it is. People have hot takes that make absolutely no sense just
Yeah.
for ratings and views.
Yeah. That's why, like, Kid Rock saying that he was at Bohemian Grove and punching some kid in the face.
Yeah,
like,
like-
I didn't buy that at all.
I didn't either.
Like anybody can just make up a story about Bohemian Grove because
Yeah.
we've seen the videos, we've seen the pictures. You can just put something together,
Yeah.
right? But man, people watch that video that Alex Jones put up. Holy smokes!
Yeah, and I feel like all of this old stuff now is coming back and people are talking about it now, and they're like just randomly saying, I was there, I got an invitation. Like, where were you before?
Yeah,
Right? Like Alex Jones did this, got this video in the late 90s?
yeah,
I think like 98 or something. I remember watching it in high school. Like, it's not new. So it's like once 20 years later, 25 years later, you're coming out and saying, oh, this is what happens there. It's kind of hard to,
yeah.
give credibility to you.
Man, the floodgates have opened this year. Cat
But
Williams,
they have, yeah.
Cat Williams called it, man. He said 2024 is gonna bring down a lot of people. Diddy Epstein, man, that Diddy story is wild.
It's wild, man. I thought, so I read, so if you guys don't know, we did a live cast for WrestleMania, and, we talked about Vince. I went through the Vince court case, and I was like, wow, this is wild. But like you made a great point, this fits his wrestling persona.
Yeah,
And I thought that was wild, but this P. Diddy,
the Diddy thing,
the details are unreal.
dude. I shouldn't be laughing, but it's just what happened with Meek Mill the other day on Twitter.
Yeah.
It was Meek, bro. Come on, man. This guy was just on this rampage of just it's so crazy to think that somebody's actually sitting there with a phone and like typing this stuff out. His timeline was crazy. But
I don't know how much you want to get into it, but
honestly, I think I'm fatigued
yeah.
by it. Yeah, I mean, because we've talked about Epstein, the Vince thing we talked about. Diddy.
Yeah. This is what I
It's-
mean, right? Like
it-
it's continually coming out, and it's these people in power, and what used to be conspiracy theories, and now it's just talked about as in like, yeah, it's it's being normalized.
Which is unfortunate because it shouldn't be normalized.
Yeah, not at all. And
Like-
this is like, these are serious allegations, serious things that we're talking about, and either the media puts a blackout depending on who he is. Like, you guys definitely need to check it out, because I don't know if you saw, like, he had the LAPD like on the payroll pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, they were covering up crimes for these guys. Like, it's insane, the allegations that are in there.
It's
And
nuts,
again, look,
man.
we are saying that these are allegations, and it's all gonna come out in this $30 million court lawsuit. So we'll see where that goes. But like, it's just,
There's something to it though, man. The
there's
way-
definitely something
yeah.
to it when the entire media is blacking it out.
that and the way that he settled with Cassie so quick.
Yeah,
Like before it
yeah.
even went to like court, he was just like,
Yeah.
you know what? Here's
They
whatever
settled,
million. Like
I think she asked for 30 mil as well.
it was some absurd number that he
Yeah.
had no problem giving her.
Yeah, and he settled so quick.
Yeah. Dude, like we've talked about Hollywood crumbling. It's happening, man. It started with Weinstein.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Anybody connected with Epstein now.
Yeah.
Diddy, Vince. Oh my God. Speaking of Vince, WWE 2K24 just came out this week. Every cutscene that has him in it, they blurred him out.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so they blurred him out and they've removed him and Brock Lesnar completely out of the game.
I haven't heard, Brock hasn't spoken about it, has he?
He's not going to say nothing.
He doesn't need to. I honestly, if I was in his shoes, true or not, I wouldn't really come out and say anything. Because it's all gonna, like, if it's in a court, like, you're better off not saying something.
The only public appearance that Brock had after all this came out was just him at his daughter's like wrestling tournament.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw
like that was it. This guy's not coming back to TV. He's not going to be in wrestling ever again.
Yeah, he was mostly retired, anyways. I would say.
Yeah, but he's still like a at the time he was like
still
a
under contract,
showcase, right? Like you
Yeah.
can still bring him back and people are going to put eyes on it, especially now with like them being with UFC. It was a natural thing for him to come back.
Yeah.
Not anymore. It's a wrap. You're done, Brock. He got Chris Benoit. Should I bleep that out?
I think it's all right.
No, that's. I mean,
think it's all right.
I mean, it's not all right what he did, but just
It's not all right. Yeah,
that
but
name is like
yeah,
Voldemort. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to say it. But
I
anyway,
haven't heard that name in a while too. So
yeah, man. He got Benoit. It is what it is.
yeah,
right? And that Vince thing just keeps getting worse and worse too. It's so bad.
Yeah, that's
It's so bad. 2024, man. What are you doing?
But then that's what we talk about, right? Like, that's his persona, and then you talk like you just mentioned this, like Garcia and CTE, and it's like he's not okay. Like how many body slams, chairs, like hits this guy's taken, like at that age and still going at the age pace he's going, and not to say like this guy's probably how many steroids he's done.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this guy's not okay.
Yeah, Vince at that age shouldn't look like the way he looks like.
Yeah.
But even with like Garcia, like being a boxer, like you're just eating shots to the head for 12 rounds, man. So I'm not shutting down what he's saying, but there's a little bit of me that's like, because when he went after like Satan, when he did the whole Instagram and Facebook outage was because of me. Like I'm like, okay, now we're kind of like getting.
Yeah, he lost me on a few things there. That's why I was like, I feel like that's just jumping on stuff we already know from Alex Jones about Bohemian Grove. Like, I've not heard anything new that wasn't mentioned 25 years ago. Yeah. Right. So.
Well, shout out to Alex Jones, man.
Yeah, to be honest, he's always been ahead of the time.
Yeah, from going from stairwells, meeting Jesse Ventura, to exposing all this stuff. Yeah, Alex Jones back on X, and
that's the crazy part. Like people think like, what's he supposed to be, Nostradamus? Like you're gonna make guesses on your research. You're gonna make like educated guesses. Like this guy's been more right than he's been wrong. And obviously, if most of you dispute that, you've obviously not followed his career or followed the messages, and it's too bad. Like he made one massive mistake with Sandy Hook, and he admits that. And look, we can call it what it is. He screwed up, and a lot of people have done much worse. And to try to cancel this guy for what he said about Sandy Hook, that just shows where we are in today's world.
All right. Before we wrap it up, there was just one more thing I wanted to kind of touch on, since we were talking about like conspiracy and stuff. Have you heard of the Doomsday Map?
No. Lay it on me.
So the Doomsday Map. Yeah, the Doomsday Map is basically this map that projects what's going to happen after some cataclysmic event where ocean level rises. Right? It could be
which is going to happen.
Which is like, an asteroid or the ice caps melting, whatever. Basically, the coastlines of Earth and all the continents change, right?
And if I just want to add something, if you guys, it's easy to say that. It's just our lifespans are so short. This happened 12,500 years ago.
Yeah. So based on this map, this lady on TikTok, and I'm sorry, I don't remember what her name is, but what she did was she basically went through all the farmland that Bill Gates is buying, right? And she imposed that over the Doomsday Map, right?
But so before you go there, where does the Doomsday Map originate? Is the Doomsday Map just a projection of the ocean level rise?
Yeah, so like it's a hypothetical thing. Like if the ocean rises this much, this is what the coastline is going to look like, right?
Yeah.
So, what she testing. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I hear you. Good.
Oh, my headphones stopped working. All right, so I'm going without headphones right now. My bad. Anyway, so she basically took all the data of all the farmland that Bill Gates has bought and is buying, and she superimposed it over the Doomsday Map, right? On this map, every plot of dry land has Bill Gates farmland on it. On this map, California is basically wiped off. Like it's gone.
Yeah. I assume Florida and California are going to be the first.
Florida's like it's still there, but it's not completely there. Yeah. But California is completely gone.
Yeah.
And
because I think California is sinking a few in whatever inches every year.
And California just ends up being like these chains of islands.
Yeah.
Guess who has farmland on those islands?
Bill Gates.
Right? So
that's interesting.
So she took dots of everything that he's bought, and it's all on dry land after this Doomsday
I think event. I know the lady you're talking about. She's been on, is it the, what's her name? It's not Shiva, is it?
No. I honestly can't remember. It wasn't that.
Okay.
And so
Because she's been calling out Bill Gates and all the farmland he's been buying for like 2 years on Russell Brand.
yeah, and it goes even further in regards to that, where it's like anywhere he's doing like philanthropic work,
Oh, yeah.
whatever, he ends up buying that land after all the charity stuff.
All
he
the
does.
charity stuff's done. Yeah, I've
So
seen
it's
that.
the-
I've seen that.
So the thing is, and you know, what is it? Butterflies Are Ninjas. Their podcast. They talked about
Yeah.
this. They're saying that like all these billionaires and stuff who are building bunkers and Bill Gates buying all this farmland and
Yeah.
the Doomsday Map and everything, it's they know something, right, is about to happen, or they already know that there's an asteroid headed our way and they're not telling anybody and they're getting ready for it.
That's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Food for thought, people.
It's food for
Tell us
thought,
what you think,
yeah.
man, because this stuff is. You have coincidence,
Yeah.
but then there's also
The
like,
Bill Gates stuff, like this has been going on for years. Like, you know, a lot of people have, like, I know some people out there that have shrines for this guy, and you know who I'm talking about. I know if you're listening to this, you know exactly who I'm talking to. And like, if you just spend just an afternoon actually looking into, especially today when you can see what these people, like what they're purchasing, what they've talked about, you know, what they've talked about in the past and what their kind of like ideas and plans for the world are, like, it's crazy what's going on right now. Like, just because you brought up Bill Gates, there's also, like, if you look at where the Chinese, like, China has been buying up land as well in the US,
oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I know that was a recent topic of conversation. They've been buying up all the land around military bases.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you look at the map and all the purchase that owned by Chinese money, it's all around US military bases.
You know who else visits military bases? UFOs. We'll save that for another time. All right, man. It was great to be back.
Yeah,
The
no,
boys
it
are
was,
back in
it was
town.
awesome to be back.
Yeah, Jag. You know, hopefully he'll be back for the next one after he, heals up his knees there
Yeah,
like
man.
Wolverine. He'll be back. But shout outs to Noampreet for filling in for him today. Did a good job.
Yeah, it's a good active listener today.
Yeah, good job, buddy. Thank you. All right, so just keep it locked, man. We're back. YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. Follow us everywhere. Like, share, subscribe. The weather's getting better, so we're probably gonna get out and do some stuff and do
We'll
some more vlogs
stuff,
and whatnot.
Get some vlogs out there, and let us know what like we cover a lot of topics. We're pretty agnostic to what we want to talk about. Just been what's going on. So let us know, like, if you want to dig deeper into some of these ideas, some of these thoughts. Get some more information. We'd love to talk about it deeper.
Yeah, 100%. Tell us why we're wrong, and then we'll tell you why you're wrong. All right, we'll appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, peace out.